not very used to this. Empty seats.
Empty seats.
3 empty seats in the front row.
Call the police. We'll sell this for 50 quid each. There are 3 seats up here. But anyway, keep them empty. Can you just have a show of hands who's here for the first time? Oh dear. Please come back. We've got an incredible list of people, but of course today you're extremely lucky. We've got one of the most remarkable people in Britain, and we're going to do this. I'm going to have a conversation with the dame for about 15 or 20 minutes. Who are you? And then I want to throw open the dame to you, the floor, and there's only one condition. Your question has got to be intelligent or even intellectual. If they're not, they will be slapped down, and I will tell you that you're a fool or that you're asking a highly inappropriate question. But the whole point is to let you interact with our star. The series is really one which we want to invite people who have done extraordinary things in their lives, and we want to find out more. Today we are extremely privileged to have Judi Dench, and I have to thank the man here, Ewan Ventus, who is the CEO of Fortnum & Mason, without whom today's event might not have happened. But, so thank you. Now, I have had to do research, of course, on you, Dame, because you've done so many things, and I don't want, and I thought, what have you not done? I mean, I spent 3 nights reading up, and you have done every bloody thing on earth. But
I've
then,
never ever, I tell you something,
yes.
I've never seen Hedda Gabler.
Oh, well, there it is.
And
But
there it is out on the air now.
All right, well, you can rectify that. But I'll tell you, I did find a chink in your life's armor, eventually. And it is this, and it irritates me, and I don't know whether it irritates you. Now, you have won every award under the sun, and that's a testament to you as a most extraordinary actor. And I won't mention the British awards you've got so many. And the only thing I thought was slightly unfair, and is an imperfection in your otherwise perfect life, which you might yet perfect,
I'm so
is
nervous
this thing
about this.
that nominated for 7 times for the Oscar, you did win 1,
I did.
but only as a supporting actor,
Yeah.
actress.
Yes.
Now, has it irritated you? Has it irritated you that you have not yet won the Best Actress Oscar?
No, it hasn't irritated me at all.
Well,
Can you
I
hear
would
me?
be highly irritated.
No, I was absolutely
I mean, you are
stunned.
voted continually as the #1 actor in Britain and probably in the world. And why has this accolade escaped you?
Well, I don't know. The Oscar looks exactly the same.
Are they all exactly the same?
No, but I'll tell you something about it. My husband and my daughter and I went to Los Angeles for it and got it. And then I was leaving to go to New York to open in a play called Amy's View. They were coming back to London. And nobody told me that if you won one, you had to give it back. And they gave you one then with your name and everything on it. So I gave mine to Michael. And he went back home with it and took it to the pub. Took it to the pub that night. He did. And then, the next year, all the Oscars were stolen. And they retrieved them, except for 3. So I actually know where one is. It's in my house.
Well, you can take that one. You can regard that one.
And it hasn't got my name on it. It could be anything. I can say it's for anything at all.
But let me ask you perhaps a more soul-searching or serious question. Do you think you should have won it, as I thought you should have, for Iris or Filomeno?
No.
You don't look at it that way.
I don't look at it that way, and the answer to that question goes with the thing that I don't actually. If you can't hear, shout at me.
Just turn it up a little bit.
Yes, but really say, shout, speak up, Jude. But it goes with the thing that, there are some films I've made that I've never ever seen. Because when you come to watching, it never turns out, it's never as you'd hoped it would be. I've never, ever seen a performance of mine that I thought was going to be like that. I thought, oh yes, I think I've cracked this scene. Well, when I see it, I always think that when you're acting or preparing something, it's like an enormous console in front of you with many, many buttons, and you press what you think and the director thinks, what you think works, and then they'll say, no, we'll do another take. So you think, no, I think, and I might do that or that. And you slightly change. This is why the theatre is so wonderful, because in the theatre, you get to change it every night. You get to do it better, you hope, the next night, but you learn from the night before. But on film, you've committed to it, and then it's there, as it were, in formaldehyde, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's a very, very, filming for me is very, I love it now. I didn't like it much, but thanks to Kevin Spacey, I love it now. But I didn't like it, and it's a really learning process for me.
Well, you don't look as if you're in formaldehyde, so I'm very pleased to hear that. But going back to America, I mean, you famously, in an interview, I think, said that when you made Mrs. Brown, it was Harvey Weinstein who suddenly rang you up and said, this must go to Hollywood, when it was meant to be just a... It
was made for television.
Yeah, it was made for television. Yeah. And of course it became a huge success, and indeed you got, particularly well noticed in America and so forth. And you said in this interview in 2011 that it was thanks to Harvey, whose name I've had tattooed on my bum ever since. Now, is it true? Now, I tell you what.
Only Harvey and I know that.
Well, you're in for a shock, because I emailed Harvey last night. And this is what he said. She has it, and I am the lucky one. Do you deny, or do you accept?
Well, I'm not going to let Harvey down.
All right, well, there it is. Can you show it to us?
I have got a tattoo there.
Well, there it is. Fantastic.
I got it on my 81st birthday. It says Carpe Diem. It's good.
Well, seize the day.
Oh, it's not applause, no.
But were you surprised when you got the phone call, and then were you surprised with the huge success?
Well, I didn't, David, get the phone call. We did it for television. We did Mrs. Brown in 30 days. We did it for television, and after it was put together and edited, Harvey saw it. I didn't even know that. And then it was Harvey who then said to my agent, this is not for television, this is for the movie, this is a movie cinema. But that really changed my film life, because I hadn't made many films before that, a few, but not many.
You hadn't made one James Bond before that?
No.
No? And you've been involved, in fact, coming to James Bond, might as well just bring it up. You've been involved, I calculated, with the James Bond movie for 17 years.
I have, that's
how many films?
Well, it's, people say 7, but it is 8, because I did do a morning on, what's that one called, the last one called?
Quantum of
Sammy,
Solace.
tell me. No?
No?
What?
Spectre.
Spectre. I did do a morning on Spectre.
Did they pay you?
They did.
Oh, good.
Certainly, yes.
Pro rata. Yes. Is that are those the films that made you most money? Being vulgar.
Yeah.
How much?
No, I know you did that to Ewan, and I'm not going to answer you like he didn't.
Well, there it is. But you shouldn't you have asked for sort of a percentage? Because all these films gross, I mean, millions and millions of dollars.
No, I think they only give percentages to certain people on it.
Well, you should ask
Like
Harvey
Daniel
Weinstein.
Craig. You're asking about Harvey
Yes,
Weinstein.
exactly. Yes, exactly. But
Ask
M, you
Daniel
were
and
very
Piers.
proud of, because tell us how much you enjoyed playing M.
I did enjoy playing Emma a great, great deal. Well, I enjoyed it mostly because my grandson here's friends were quite impressed that his grandmother was Em.
I mean, it was based on the character of Stella.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't
That's
at
what
all.
people. No, it
That's what
wasn't.
people said.
She wasn't in what's name when I started to play Em.
I see. But did you meet her later?
No, I've never met her.
You've never met anybody in MI6?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I went to lunch. I had a wonderful lunch with them, and they said to me, "Will you come at 12:30 for lunch?" And I said, "I will. I absolutely will. I'd love it." And they said, "I said my driver will." No. They said, "No, not your driver. No, he won't know where it is." I said, "He won't know where it is. It's that Lego building on the south side of the river. We all know where it is."
It was destroyed by James Bond, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yes. We
Yes.
blew it up.
Yes.
And they said, no, he won't know where it is. We'll send our driver. Their driver couldn't find my house. I arrived at 1:15. Absolutely true. And I walked in, there were about 6 people there, and Sir David Spedding was head of MI6 then, who, alas, is not with us anymore. He was so charming. I said, "Well, if you trust your drivers."
Anyway, I mean, you really have led an extraordinary life in your field, and you must have met so many people. I tried to write down the number of people you worked with, and I mean, the list is endless. Zeffirelli, Trevor Nunn, Donald Sinden, Ian McKellen, Jeremy Irons, Kenneth Branagh, Emma Thompson, Pierce Brosnan, Joseph Fiennes, Gwyneth Paltrow, Maggie Smith, Joan Plowright, Kate Winslet, Kevin Spacey. I mean, the list is endless. Is there anyone you have not met or engaged with that you wish you had or you want to? All the actors and directors in the world. I was going to say dead or alive, but obviously not dead now. But
I would like to have worked with Martin Scorsese.
but he's still around.
He is, yes, he is. Yes.
Why don't you ring him up?
And
Does he know this?
but Michael, my husband, and I met him in the foyer of when we were going, I can't remember.
Sherry Netherlands.
Going to see something. And Michael, who wasn't very tall, and turned to me afterwards, and he said, "We must work with Martin Scorsese, because he's the only person who's on a kind of level with us." Very tall directors, very, very intimidating. No, I did work with Clint Eastwood. That was very exciting.
Now, that was a famous story where he rang you up and you
He did,
you
and I
thought
thought it
a
was my
joke.
friend Brendan O'Hare. It's
Yes, I know.
absolutely true.
But tell us the story.
The phone rang, and this person said, "Judi Dench." I said, "Yes." "Yes." He said, "It's Clint here." I said, "Who?" He said, "Clint." I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Oh, Brendan. I have a great friend called Brendan O'Hare." I said, "Oh, Brendan, this is so boring. Don't need Clint Eastwood." "No, this is Clint Eastwood." "Oh, yes, it's Clint." Well, it was Clint Eastwood, of course.
He asked you to play Mrs. Hoover in the
Was that
film.
who she was called? Hoover, Mrs. Hoover? Yes. I didn't see the
I
film.
think he was called. Yeah, I mean, although he was
J.
a
Edgar.
closet,
Yes, he
yes, Hoover was a closeted homosexual, but he married.
He did.
Yeah. So, and you were the suffering wife who didn't know that he was a homo.
No, I was his
Was it?
mother.
Oh, mother. Oh, Sorry, bad research.
Wasn't I his mother? Was I his mother?
Anna Maria.
What? Yes, I was his mother.
All right, okay.
I didn't see it.
Then it makes no sense. Well, it's
Either
irrelevant
way.
whether he was homosexual or not. Yes, absolutely. But did you enjoy working with Clint Eastwood?
I absolutely loved it.
Any funny stories subsequent?
Well,
to
I
that,
have one that my family are very bored of hearing. But when you're about, I didn't meet him until I was all dressed and ready to do the first scene with him. Not with him, with Leo.
DiCaprio.
Yes, DiCaprio.
You know him?
Rightly embarrassed.
What was he like?
He was charming.
Charming?
Absolutely charming. Serious, Leo.
Yeah.
Quite serious. But he was, we were waiting to do the first scene, and suddenly I just felt a hand on my shoulder. And I looked, and of course you look right up. It's not just there, it's there. And that was Clint Eastwood. And so he said, well, we better have a go at this. I said, okay, fine. And so there's a pause, and everybody quietens down. And like all film directors say, action. All film directors say action and cut. We know that. Not Clint Eastwood. He says, in your own time. And then you do it, and he says, you want to do that again? So you're a bit nervous then. Then you might do it again, and at the end of it he says, stop. And you never get a third go at it, because you finish at 4:30 every day. It's absolutely wonderful. Don't start till 9, finished 4:30. He goes off and plays golf, and you go home and have a quick gin.
After that, did you meet him? Or,
Oh yes, I met him all the time there.
Yeah.
But I
Does he send you a
wasn't there
Christmas
for
card?
very long.
Does he send you a Christmas card?
Oh no. No, he doesn't
Who
send
sends
it.
you a Christmas card? I mean, people...
Tony Blair.
Tony Blair. He bought the house of John Gielgud, whose plaque
He
you...
did?
You,
He did?
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful
yes.
house in the country.
Yes. And,
Who
and
sends you a Christmas card then?
I don't receive any Christmas
Everybody sends you a Christmas card.
No, I don't. I don't send Christmas cards to avoid people sending me Christmas cards. I want to ask you one or two other questions before I open it to the floor. Now, you were brought up as a Quaker, and
I wasn't brought up as a Quaker.
well, you know,
I became a Quaker.
you became a Quaker.
Yes.
Yeah, but since you were young, you were.
Yes,
you
since
were
I was
a
very
Quaker.
young.
And people don't really talk about it until recently, as I think 2 or 3 years ago, you gave an interview and you said, I think it informs everything I do. I couldn't be without it. So tell us about your faith in being a Quaker. Do you think it's unfashionable, or do you still hold fast, as you say, to it?
No, I still hold fast to it. It's vitally important to me. It just, I went to a Quaker boarding school. I cut it very short. I went to a Quaker boarding school, and we had to go to Quaker meeting, every Sunday and every Wednesday. And after, I don't know how long, not very long, suddenly found it was something that just, I don't know if anybody, you just sit in a Quaker meeting and you just all sit round, and the principle is that if you get moved to speak, you get up and speak. Otherwise, you sit in complete silence. And it is to do with the communion of a lot of people sitting together and their communal kind of thought or constant. It's like meditation. And I just found that it suited me very, very well indeed, and still does, and it is extremely important to me.
I mean, did people speak? Did you speak at these meetings?
Yes, I have done.
Yeah, and but what is extraordinary to me, looking at the Quakers, is that they are very good businessmen.
Yes, the Fryers, the Cadburys, and the Rowntrees.
The whole of Barclays Bank is run by
Haven't done
Quakers.
badly. No.
Yeah. And so why didn't you cash in on this? I mean, the Quakers are supposed to be natural capitalists. They run Lloyd's, Cadbury,
Yes.
Rowntree, they're
Well,
all run
perhaps
by
it
Quakers.
isn't too late. Perhaps I might think about it.
I don't think you need blades, the razors, but yes. I'm very impressed by that. Now, listen, you are a CH, which to those of you ignorant is a companion of honor. It is a very, very distinguished order. Which
an American lady said to me, "Does it mean you make hot chocolate for the Queen?" What does that mean?
In the whole world, there are only about 65. There are only 65, and you are one. When you got this companion of honor, were you particularly pleased? Even more pleased than when you were made a dame?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I was.
Well, I think that you should now proceed to the OM, and I can't think of anybody who deserves it more, but you do have to wait until one of them dies. I don't know. The oldest one is the Duke of Edinburgh, but anyway, let's not think about that. Listen, I don't want to hold the floor because I know that so many of you want to find out more about our extraordinary guest. So who wants to ask the first question? Right, okay, right back there.
Shout.
Yeah, quickly. Can we have some more microphones? Otherwise we're going to waste time. Intelligent, please. Go on, speak up.
Have you always wanted to be an actress? And
very boring question. Next one.
Oh.
I mean, the dame has
That's
been an actress all his life.
Red chair syndrome. No. That's the real.
And what was?
No, I haven't.
What was Plan B if it hadn't worked out?
I trained as a scenic designer. That's what I wanted to be. But my brother, ahead of me, only ever wanted to be an actor, and I kind of, in a way, caught it from him. That's.
Okay,
and
very
so
boring
that
question.
was it.
I don't want questions like what inspires you to act. Right, okay, go on. Go and give it to him. We've got so many questions.
I saw a trailer for a new film, a film called Victoria and Abdul. Is that set either before or after Mrs. Brown?
That is a story, that Victoria and Abdul is a story, it's a film coming out in September, which is what happened in Queen Victoria's life 4 years after John Brown had died. And is a true story. I want kind of stamped on it, this is true, this is true, this is true. Because she was the most remarkable, much underrated, if you can possibly say that Queen Victoria was underrated person, I think. And anyway, it's the relationship between this boy who is in his 20s and came to give her a gift for the Jubilee. And she was in her 80s. And well, go to the film.
It's coming out in September.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Right. Yes. Lady here.
Which role did you enjoy the most, and which was your most challenging? Why?
Another quite boring question, but anyway. I mean, the dame has done 85 million films, and you're asking her to name the top and the bottom. I mean, I know what's supposed to have been tattooed on your bottom, but what is tattooed in your mind as being one of the most challenging? Might as well oblige her with a...
I found it quite difficult doing cabaret. I played Sally Bowles here
because
in
you
the
had to
first
sing.
production.
But you were a very good singer.
No, I sing exactly like I speak.
Yeah. No, you got very good reviews.
I went to Gwen Catley, who's that wonderful opera singer. And she said, I can't teach you to sing. She said, I'll teach you how to put a song over, but I can't teach you to sing. Very, very honest. And somehow, when I knew, the size of the jump, my horse tried to get over.
Well, and which is your favourite?
And I haven't got a favourite. I haven't really got a favourite. I mean, I nearly always say playing Cleopatra because I was so, people just used to, when it was announced that I was going to play Cleopatra at the National, people openly laughed. I mean, they actually said, oh, Cleopatra, and kind of gave me a look up and down. So it was an incredible and wonderful challenge. Wonderful challenge.
Actually, there's a book out to say that Cleopatra was not at all pretty, and in fact she was a rather ugly old woman.
Then that's probably, I got
That
quite
is true.
successful.
Yeah, but, anyway, so I don't know whether you knew that, but there it is. Okay, question. Yeah, go on.
Thanks there, David. Dame Judy, have you ever fallen in love with your lead actor?
Oh, hello.
Good question. Leonardo DiCaprio?
No. Yes, I have. That's it.
What was the letter of his first name? Don't say M. All right, next question. Have you kissed anybody that you particularly enjoy? I mean, in films.
Oh.
Who was a good kisser?
I haven't got to kiss many people in films, actually. Tom
No, of
Bell.
the few.
I had to
What?
kiss Tom Bell in He Who Rides the Tiger. But we had that was a very long time ago. That was in the 60s.
But you enjoyed it, you obviously.
Well, no, we were asked to do a very, very passionate love scene on the first day. Well, I hardly knew him, and he hardly knew me, and we didn't know the director.
Have you been
That's
in,
another film I've never seen, actually.
Have you been in many scenes in bed?
A few.
Theatre?
In bed in the theatre.
Yes. Not very many.
No, not many.
Well, you can start.
Rather disappointment.
Yes. Okay.
Dame Judy, I want to know whether you've ever turned down a role that you later regretted.
Yes. I turned down. Well, I've never said what it is, but I turned down Shirley Valentine. And then but afterwards I saw Pauline. I just thought she was sensational. And I thought, you stupid woman. I thought about myself.
What, her?
No, certainly not.
For taking your role.
No. Playing it
Right.
so beautifully.
I thought it was a very
I
boring
thought she
film.
was wonderful.
Yeah, it was mediocre.
Sorry.
Go on.
Hello. What
Hello.
would you say is your true nature, introvert or extrovert or other?
God, you'd have to ask my family.
She's
Introvert
a
or-
Quaker, so
I
obviously
don't
an
think I'm
introvert.
extrovert. Yes, I don't think I'm extrovert. I said to David just before we came out here, and this is absolutely true, that what I cannot do is make a speech in public, and sometimes I have to do it. But it is anathema. It is so excruciating, frightening for me to do that. And I know that because you act on stage, people think that you're naturally will be able to get up and make a speech. But it's exactly the opposite. You know, why we're on the stage is because we're trying to be somebody else and using somebody else's words anyway. So trying to,
Ad-lib is difficult for you.
no, yes, to make a speech is
Well, just
agony
read
for me.
out
So
half the
perhaps I'm
chance
not
of
an extrovert.
Lady
but
Macbeth, and then that would
that's
be
all
very
right when you
impressive.
know that what she's doing, and you've got the daggers, and you've got somebody, and all that.
Is this the
It's all
dagger?
right, yes.
In my hand before me. Yes, okay. Yeah, man with a beard. All right, okay, go on. You go first. Whoever.
Oh, hi. Sorry. First of all, actually, before I ask a question, I'd like to say that I've been fortunate enough to work on 2 films that you've been on. And I'd just like to say that I
Out
don't
of
think
85.
out of 85, just 2 I managed. And I'd like to say that I was so impressed by the way you were with everyone on the set, Judy. You were so kind to anybody. It didn't matter where they came on the pecking order. And I always, whenever I meet people and we talk about your films, I tell them that, because that, to me, you're a great actress, but you're a lovely human being, and I really honour that. So thank you. My question...
That's only on the set. It's when I get them out afterwards in the dressing. I duff them up.
And I will never forget this Arua Charrier, actually was a lifer who does the crossword on the garden, I believe, which you said one day when we were there. My question is that I think it was Beryl Reid said that when she tries to find her character, she puts on the shoes. Do you have a way that you find your character?
I don't. I don't have a way. I know that Beryl Reid did that or said that. I don't really have a way of doing it. I just don't know. I don't know.
It comes instinctively to you.
It doesn't, I don't think. But you just, I don't know what you do. You put yourself in the position, perhaps, of the person. It's something I think you do privately. You know, I'm always banging on about the amount of homework as actors you have to do. You have to do a lot of homework because it's no good coming to rehearsal and then suddenly bringing up something which is your particular problem, perhaps, and taking up other actors' time while you discuss this thing that is entirely to do with you, with the director. You know, that's something that you either do later, quietly, to the director and say, or you do at home. It's homework. But the thing is to come prepared for things. And I don't know, you get it from other actors. I mean, I couldn't do a one-woman show. Wouldn't know who to get ready for, because so much of the getting prepared and the half and the quarter and the five and everything is so much to do with a company feeling of a group of people who are coming or going out to tell a particular audience a story, or on film, another particular audience on a story. But it's a very, very much company thing. It's a lovely thing about Victoria and Abdul. When we filmed, we did the first 3 weeks at Osborne House on the Isle of Wight, where, you know, it was her home. And it was glorious because we had the whole company practically there for 3 weeks. So it did become, unlike a film set, it was very much like a theatre company, and it makes a huge difference. And that is all, those are the constituents of getting your part together.
And it was a genuine set, in the sense that...
We were on the genuine set,
yeah,
yes.
Very seldom you will find that.
Yes.
Yeah, the man with a beard. All right, well, you have also got a beard, so go on. Then he'll come to you.
Okay. I was just wondering if you'd seen the Tracy Ullman show.
Yes, I certainly have. And I got a present from her last week.
Really?
Yes.
Was it
Because I think she's brilliant. It just makes it very tricky for me when I go around my local farm shop with a bag on my shoulder. I mean, innocently, picking something up and thinking yes, and naturally putting it in the bag. And a man went to me, aye, aye. Well, she must answer for that. If that's going to go on happening to me, I'm going to make her pay for it. But I think she's brilliant.
Hi. When you were a teenager, was there a film that you really loved? And where was the cinema, if you remember?
Sorry?
When you were a teenager,
yes.
Was there a film that really you had a lot of passion from, that you really loved?
Was my what?
When you were a teenager?
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm
so
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm obviously
when I was a film
this
set.
illiterate...
I'm obviously not an actor.
Yes.
It was there a film that you
Oh, a
saw
film that I really
sorry.
loved.
when
yes,
you were
of course.
young that
Yes.
impressed you, and in
Yes.
which cinema?
Ooh.
You can answer only half of the question if you want.
Yes, quite.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember
The
what
name
cinema.
of the cinema.
I can't remember. Yes.
Right.
Picture
Okay,
House
stupid
in York.
question.
Yes.
Right next.
No,
All
it's
right,
a
go
film
on.
called I Know Where I'm Going. And I simply doted on it. And Roger Livesey was in it. And I came to work with him in The Three Sisters. And in it, he's up on the west coast of Scotland. He falls in love. I could tell you the whole story. I could reenact the whole thing for you. With Wendy Hiller. And she has to go over to an island because she's going to marry an American, and he's the lad. And in the end, of course, they get together. And I eventually plucked up courage after we'd been running for a while with The Three Sisters to say, I said, Roger, I have never, ever forgotten you in I Know Where I'm Going, you up on the west of coast of Scotland, shouting out to her. I'll never forget it. And he said, you won't know, and probably nobody here will remember him, but he had this wonderful voice, and he said, "Oh, darling, I was never in Scotland at all," he said. "I did all mine on the south coast," he said. And in a way, this wonderful bubble and terribly romantic film kind of went like that. Heaven,
Right, okay, go on.
Have you ever had a strong disagreement with the director about how a character
Oh,
should
yes.
be portrayed? Any particular one?
Oh, yes. I had a strong disagreement with Sam Mendes when he was extremely young, and he came in to direct The Cherry Orchard. And we were in rehearsal, and he was very young. And I said to him, Sam, I just would love to try this scene a slightly different way. Have we got the time? And do you mind if I just slightly try this in another way? And he went, well, you can, but it won't work. So,
And did you?
yeah.
And did it work?
I don't know, you'd have to ask him. But then, when we came to do Skyfall, I've got to think what way round this was. Yes, he said to me in Skyfall, what I think you should do is, as you come in that, don't show that she's actually big, or whatever he was saying to me anyway. I said, right. I said, well, I'll do it, but it won't work. I said to him. And suddenly, I think that The Cherry Orchard was in the 60s, and Skyfall was, you know, the day before yesterday, whenever it was. So there was a great big...
But did he remember?
He did.
Yeah.
Well, I never let him forget.
All right, here, go on. Whoever's the microphone. Go on.
Hello, I wanted to... Hi, Judy.
Hello. I don't know where
Straight
you
ahead
are.
of you.
I can't
Okay.
see
Hello.
you. So. Oh, are you over there?
I just wanted to ask you a bit about the development of M as you were playing the character through the years. At the back of the room here, by the pillar. Hello. Because I think two different eras, right? So the Pierce Brosnan era and then the Daniel Craig era. And I think the films in the Daniel Craig era are a lot more depth, and I think your character was allowed to develop a lot more. Was that a process you were involved in? And were you aware of the arc for those three films and how they were going to end at the end of Skyfall? No spoilers.
Certainly not. Certainly not. Except that I just thought, I have been in this coming up 17 years. I thought by this time MI6 would have given her the push, is all I thought to myself, it's bound to come. But no, I mean, I was very overawed when I was asked to play it. But my husband said to me, you have to do it because I long to live with a Bond woman, he said. Actually, it was girl then. It was Bond girl then. And I'm very, very pleased I did it. I mean, I don't know who was more frightened, Pierce or me, on the first day of GoldenEye. I don't know.
Whom do you prefer, Piers or Daniel?
How dare you?
Go on, spill
No, I
the
can't.
beans.
I couldn't.
50-50.
They're two such different, well, they're totally different people, completely different.
All right, next. Who's got the mic? Whoever's got the mic, yeah, go on.
Hi, Judy. Hi. I just wondered which actors inspired you when you were growing up?
Very easy, actually. John Gielgud, Peggy Ashcroft, and I worked with both of them. When I left the Vic, I went to Stratford to be in the Cherry Orchard, which subsequently it opened in Stratford and then came to London to the Aldwych. And I had a really hard time from the director, Michel Saint-Denis, and it was Sir John and Dame Peg, both of them. I mean, they were really fantastically kind, and you know, I used to get a very bad time at the end of a run-through of the Cherry Orchard, and and Michel used to go round, and I'd just come from the Vic, you know, and I felt very out of my depth. And he used to, at the end of a rehearsal, he used to go give notes to everybody, notes and notes and notes and notes, and he'd get to me and he'd go, then he'd go on like this and this. And Sir John noticed it, I think. And after we did the next run through, which was getting very, very close to the first night, he said, we came off stage, he and I were about to go on again, and he said to me, if you've been doing that for me, I'd be delighted. And I thought, suddenly my allegiance completely, I mean, it's like a searchlight. I just thought, that's who I'm going to do it for. That's why I'm not going to be frightened again. He was fantastic, fantastic. And he used to laugh practically through every performance. And Dame Peg as well. That's why I get, you know, I want young actors, I just want them to find out about those people.
In fact, when you unveiled John Gielgud's blue plaque recently,
Yes.
you made the point that young actors tend not to want to know about these heritage and tradition and so forth, and that is rather sad.
It is sad because...
And apparently they mumble as well. They don't really bring out the meaning of Shakespeare in particular, when somebody like John Gielgud was particularly famous for giving real meaning to words, which nowadays perhaps younger actors don't pay enough attention to.
I think sometimes the words now are not meant to be very important.
Yes.
But if we get somebody like Peter Hall, if you're taught by Peter Hall or John Barton or Trevor Nunn, it is a discipline that you have to learn what it's about and how to say it and all the punctuation before you start on the play, really. And that, I think, is invaluable. I know that's not fashionable. People think that's out of date now, but I don't.
Right. Okay. Whoever has the mic, go on.
When you're not acting or so on, do you have a safety valve? What is it? Your switch off? Outside of...
What's my safety valve? I don't know.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Have
I
a
just
switch
like
off?
Oh, yes, I switch right off.
Yeah.
I paint a little bit. I used to paint a lot, but I haven't been able to. Watercolour.
Not.
Do you do that, David?
I know watercolors, yes.
Do you do that?
No, I paint, I used to paint oil, but I'm not very good, so I've given it up. But landscape or still life?
Yes,
or what?
no, well, because now my eyesight is so appalling and I can't read anything, I gave it up for a while, but David here persuaded me that I should do something about it. So every Tuesday we go and paint, and I paint, and I think, well, there are so many painters who painted what they saw, you know, it's how you interpret something.
You do figurative or abstract?
No, it's nearly all Scotland.
Right, okay.
And people say, where's that in Scotland? I said, no idea, absolutely no idea. But because, you know, we've been so many times.
With watercolors, do you tend, I always find that there are two types of watercolors. One who always paints things which are rather light and pastel and so forth, and then the
Mine
darker
are very,
ones.
very angry.
You
angry
angry
Scottish skies,
yeah.
yes. I'm
Right,
afraid
okay.
so.
Yeah, so there's another side, a dark side to you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, okay. Next question with the whoever's got the microphone.
Yeah, hi. I was actually going to ask the same question there, but never mind. I guess I think of something fresh to ask. Yeah, hi.
Well, you better.
All right.
Hello.
Hey,
This is very
yeah, just a curious question, really. I was going to ask that one, but I'll ask a new one.
Please
When was the
ask
last
the
time you
question.
forgot your lines? Sorry.
What?
When was the last time you forgot your lines?
You mean in what play or film?
I guess
Anything of
both,
the last
yeah.
thing I've done.
Yes.
Oh, yes. That's par for the course.
Do you have prompters?
When we I'll tell you something about doing Measure for Measure in Nottingham. Teddy Woodward played Lucio in it, and he has to say, and do you know Measure for Measure? If you don't, anyway, I played a nun, a novice nun, and this kind of rather wide boy comes to her and says, and has to say, go to Lord Angelo and make him learn to know, when maidens sue, men give like gods. But when they weep and kneel, all their petitions are as freely theirs as they themselves would owe them. That was the line. Teddy Woodward left. Jimmy Thompson, do you remember him? Jimmy Thompson? What did he do? Pinky and Perky, he wrote. He's also a very, very nice man, and he took over. And he had terrible difficulty with the lines, and all I have to say is it was in modern dress. He was in a mac and a trilby hat, and I was in a white habit and a very shaved head, and one side of a grill. And we got to this part, he was taking over. He said to me, "Go to Lord Angelo and make him learn to know that when maidens kneel down, they can have anything they want." And then he said to me, "Do you want a cigarette?"
Okay.
Tricky to go on.
Go on.
Good evening.
Hello.
I wondered, having worked in both theatre and film, what do you think it is about theatre performers that appeals to Hollywood, and what are the skills that they bring that perhaps other actors don't bring, and why they're so sought after?
What do you mean to film?
Yes.
Do you mean
but in terms of Hollywood going, actively looking for people with experience in British theatre?
Yeah. I don't know. It's very...
It's not my dog's calling me. They said, "Are we going to be fed?" But anyway, I told them to wait. I got Dame Judi.
I don't know. I have no idea the answer to that. Mark. Yes, I know. Well, I think that's changed Spielberg's whole outlook, hasn't it, about that Mark has, yes.
Have you worked with Spielberg at all?
No.
Has he ever rung you?
No.
Has anybody pretend to be Steven Spielberg
No.
to ring you? Would you like to have had
No.
Steven Spielberg? Next, go on.
Hello.
Judi, do you
Hello.
read much? And if so, do you have a favorite book?
Do I what?
Do you read,
much?
and what's your favorite book?
I can't read at all now. Not at all. So somebody has to teach me the script even. I mean, I have to... If, for instance, if 8 actors were going to come into here to read you a sonnet, which is, is 14 lines, they would have one piece of paper and I would have 14. I mean, it's like that. It's very, very difficult. So I can't read at all.
But I mean, with all this modern surgery, modern knowledge and so forth, have you tried to find a way in which you might be able to overcome, because I think your condition is that one of your eyes is always dry and the other...
No, not anymore.
Oh, anymore. So
both dry.
They're both dry, all right, okay.
But they can't do anything.
But why can't
about
you
it.
water it?
Well, what a good... Well, I'll ask.
Next. Over here, go on.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you think that the industry that you're in now is a better place to be a woman than when you started?
It's easier for women, did you say?
Is it a better place to be a woman?
Well, I think that people are more... I think there's more awareness now, the fact that there are never enough parts for women. I think there's more awareness. I think that when I started in 1957, there wasn't any talk at all about positive parts for women, and now there is a great awareness of it, and that's terrific, I think. What I think is difficult if you're a stage actor now is that when I left Central, there was a repertory theatre in every single town in the country, so you could go there and you could learn there, make all the mistakes you could, and learn there. And some of it was fortnightly rep, some of it was weekly rep. It was incredibly hard work. But you could learn there. You could really learn. And it's no good. What is very difficult, I think, now is to come out of drama school and then land some big part that you have to be able to sustain for 8 performances a week. You know, that it requires a lot of work and a lot of concentration and grit to be able to do that. And I think that's difficult now. But there is such talent about, because drama schools now, I think they teach, all young actors now can dance and sing and everything. That used not to be so in 1957 at all. So in many ways, everybody's more prepared, but still, there aren't enough parts for women, of course, and that will always be so.
Okay, next. Yeah, have you got a microphone? Whoever's got a microphone. Over here, go on. Let's not waste time. Whoever's got a microphone.
Hello.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know if my microphone is
You look like
working.
Julie Cooper, but younger
Right.
version.
Not quite. She does love animals, and so do I. However, I just wanted to ask the versatility that in the parts that you played. When you did the Marigold Hotel, obviously you're working with versatility type part that included Maggie Smith, and there was Richard Gere, I believe, and other people like that. I just wondered how you found that as compared to doing the most serious parts you've ever done, when that was more on a comedy side, but on the other hand, that dealt with the age-related side that everybody's going to become such as me with my grey hair.
Did you understand that question?
Not quite, no, I didn't.
No, stupid question. Sit down.
No.
Too complicated.
Oh, no.
Next.
No.
She did mention
That's a
Maggie
shame.
Smith, and I had a bet with my wife coming here, who was older. Now,
Who was
Who thinks Maggie Smith is older? Who thinks Judi Dench is
There's
older?
not many hands going up.
Right. Anyway, you are older
Yeah,
than
I am.
her by
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes.
Yes. You are the 7th of December.
The 9th.
9th of December, and she is 27th of December.
Yes,
Yeah, all right, okay, well. So you are the grand dame, you really are the grand dame. Okay, right, a less complicated, less convoluted
was a
and a
good question.
comprehensible question.
Daniel Craig's time has come to the end of Bond, who would you like to see play James Bond?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he'll do another. We said on the way here, I don't think he's decided whether or not to do another. But you mean after that? Oh, that's difficult. I don't know. Who would you like?
I don't think that will happen.
I don't know.
Well-
It's difficult, isn't it? Gosh, to have to take on that part anyways.
Shout out
Unbelievable
a name.
responsibility.
Who thinks... Who? I have no idea who he is, but anyway. Proves my point. Who? Richard Armitage. I don't know who he is either.
Will we ever see a female Bond?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I know that's very fashionable too, to have...
A lesbian, perhaps.
Well, it's going to complicate the plot a lot, isn't it?
Well, we will continue the tradition of having Bond girls.
Yes, Bond men. A lot of...
Well, if it was a lesbian, they still have blonde girls, so... Right, go on.
It's just following on from the question about if it's easier for women. I was wondering what your thoughts are on the gender pay gap. And also, some people say that there's a lot of gratuitous nudity for women in TV dramas. Just wondered what you thought about that.
I didn't hear that question.
Well, they're totally unrelated. Is there a problem about gender pay, right, between men and women? And is there a lot of gratuitous nudity on television? So let's answer the second part of the question.
Well, you've asked the wrong person, because I can't see anyway, so I'm completely
Have you ever
baffled.
gone nude?
Yeah.
On stage or in film?
Langrish Go Down. A wonderful book by Aidan Higgins called Langrish Go Down. And I had to run across a meadow.
With the camera behind you or in front?
In a tree.
in a tree.
That was the camera. That was in a tree.
But was it in front of you or was it behind you?
It was above me, David.
Wow.
I was allowed
Most
to wear my
interesting.
shoes. I was allowed.
I'm going to get a copy of the
Such a
DVD.
success. I was able to wear my wig and my shoes, and I had the most divine dresser called Lizzie Scargill, I think. And I was terribly nervous about it. This woman took air baths in Ireland, and so she would run across a meadow, and I'd absolutely not a stitch on. And when I had to go, there was a little cluster of bushes and things, and Lizzie was hiding behind there with a thing to put round me. And after I was in an unbelievable state about it. Anyway, I did it, and I got behind the bushes and crouched down. She said, "You look like a lovely birthday card," she said. I thought that was very, very kind.
Next. Who's got a microphone? Go on.
Oh, here? Oh. Hi, Judi. I haven't heard you speaking before because my image of you, because like, look at now, you don't quite smile. So like your image is this serious M kind of woman, but then when you start speaking is this lovely, old lady, and I just almost like grandmother. Grandmother, sorry.
Stop, next question.
Okay.
Very impertinent.
Do you
You're an
find
old
a
lady.
gap between, I mean, age doesn't matter. I mean, some people are more beautiful with age, right? So what do you feel this difference between people's perception of you and who you are? And yeah, just one.
I don't know. It's very
care,
hard to
really,
think. A lot of people say to me, "I thought you were taller." I get that a bit. I don't know. I don't think I think you're the last person to know what people expect.
Okay, next. Go on.
Sorry.
Hi, Judi. What's on your bucket list of things to do?
I don't have a bucket list.
Because you
I don't have a
famously
bucket
say
list
that.
because I've got on my wrist here is carpe diem, so I'm too concerned about tomorrow. I'm too concerned about this evening and tomorrow.
No, you'll be
And then
well
I'll be-
fed tonight, I can assure you. Yeah. But you famously say, it's very tiresome when people say, are you getting old, are you retiring, and all those questions. I mean, you just think that you just seize the day and you just go on and you do whatever you want to do. Isn't that your philosophy?
Well, isn't that ideally all our philosophies?
Well, there are a lot of freaks, I can tell you. Most of my friends, for a start. Okay. Go on.
When was the last time you had to audition for a part?
Well, doesn't
Well,
that
I'm
answer the
so
question?
pleased that I've got a big pause here. I'm so pleased. Do you know, I don't know. I don't know.
I think people will be extremely lucky even to get you to say yes. So that's a very impertinent question. Next. Who's got the microphone? Okay, go on.
What is your favourite Shakespearean speech, and how much of it can you still remember?
Oh, I can remember a lot of Shakespeare. I could sit you here for another hour. God, but you know, please not. No. I don't have a favourite. There are certain bits of Shakespeare, not necessarily that belong to an actress, an actor's lines, that actually make my arms go fine. You know, that I get
goose pimple.
Yes, and I think that we're not in the theatre, so I can say, but anybody who can write sleep that knits up the ravelled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labour's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second feast. Anyone who can have written that. I mean, and then he went on to write 36 more plays. And so sometimes, my hands have gone funny now already. So sometimes you get to something, and nearly always, when I've done Shakespeare, I have had to stop at the edge of the stage, having come off, and just listened to what is going on. And at the Vic, I mean, I'm sure that goes back to that question about how different it is. At the Vic, I was there from 57 to 61, the end of 61. And I never went to my dressing room. I used to come off stage, and I used to just stand and watch the next scene or whatever it is. Or before going on, stand and watch that scene. Because to see, and also in the theatre, you get that wonderful thing of an audience being completely different the next night, and that actor ever so slightly changing. So it's always it's like a faceted stone, because something slightly changes every night, either from the in Antony and Cleopatra, I knew that there is a line of Cleopatras, which I can't remember now, which ought to get a laugh. I knew that there was a line, and we did 100 performances of it at the National Theatre, and on the last night I got the laugh. And I just wanted to turn to Tony Hopkins and say, you see, I knew it was there. I knew it, but it's, well, Shakespeare, people have
Aren't you irritated, as so many of us are, that Shakespeare is actually now disappearing from the school syllabus rather than being entrenched?
Yes, I am sad about that, but it's got to be well taught.
Yes, well, you're right. There are not enough good teachers, I'm afraid. They don't even understand it, but there it is. Well, look, listen, I'm afraid the hour is out, and we could have gone on here for hours longer, but I really want you all to join me in thanking Dame Judi Dench. Thank you. Listen. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Please sit down. Please sit down. Because I'm going to take Dame Judi away, because I know if I left her with you, mob, she will never be able to get out of here. And I want her to enjoy her gin and tonic or whatever that she's going to order in a minute. So I really would greatly respect if all of you will let us leave. And the days of selfies and the conversations and networking and introductions and pitching must not happen tonight, I'm afraid, because we have already enjoyed 1 hour of a time, which is a great deal. Will you just sign this? And thank you again for coming, and thank you, Dame Judi.